So the next step we're going to take is to try to make a drawing out of this thing, or to print this thing out. For that, we're going to create a virtual paper. So to see how big the paper is, I'm just going to go to, let's see, this rectangle. And let me draw it on the floor plan, okay? Right next to the floor plan, I'm going to make a rectangle at 11 inches, comma, 8.5, 0.5 inches. Everything in the computer is drawn 1-to-1 scale. That means that that's an actual 8.5 by 11 piece of paper. That's your actual size of the floor, right? Okay, what I want you to do, and I can't explain this right now, but use a scale factor. So scale, select that object, enter when done, or hit the space bar, and then base point. Base point I'm going to select from that corner right there. We could just stretch this out, but I know my scale factor, so if I say 48, enter, it's going to blow this up to that yay big. Okay, so with that, I'm going to center this thing. If I center it so that, move this from the midpoint, MID, of that to the midpoint of this, it kind of centers this up, right? If I go from, I guess if I move this up, that should look fairly professional. What I could do is to say text, and then let's just do the inch fractional that way, and choose something like let's say 1'6" as the height. Okay, and then this base model scale, I think that was 1. And then I'm going to type this thing. Arial is the font size. This is the font style. I'm going to say floor plan. Usually everything is capitalized. Floor plan. And okay. And that would get me a title on here. Okay, and that's kind of treated as an object. And I'm just going to center this thing right now. And we'll add north arrows and stuff to it later, but for that, I think it's alright. If I go ahead, all these are pretty much the same size anyway, because they're all 1/4 inch scale, except for this guy right here. So if I copy this thing, Alt, I might as well copy everything at once, copy Alt, and do that. It does not fit quite well, right? Perspectives are not to scale. So I could just take this thing and say scale, select a point, and then now it's a reference point. The first point of the reference is this, and shrink it down, and then that should be fitting onto the paper, like so. And move this kind of towards the center of the thing, like so, and then click on that guy, or double click on that guy, and it gets me the dialog box. I'll say perspective. Oops. Say OK, and that's that. I'm going to do this to every one of these drawings that I have here. Okay, and let's leave it at that at this point.